IPFW women's basketball head coach Chris Paul joining us right now, and off to a very good start in the conference. Let's look back to the preseason media day. You guys had a lot to say, very confident coming in this year. Got off to a rough start, but it's all starting to come together.
We did get off to a rough start, but, you know, a lot of that was the schedule that we were playing. And, you know, looking back on it, I had mixed emotions on whether to make it that tough or not. But I think it's paying off now. You know, all those close losses, you know, the Akron loss, the Fairfield loss. I think if we don't go through those losses, we probably don't win the close game at Oral Roberts. So, you know, although we were, you know, pre-conference, we won, you know, 2 of those non-conference games. I'd rather win 2 of those and win 5 conference games than the other way around. So, you know, maybe I'm not as hard on myself right now as I was maybe about a month ago.
Now, 9 straight conference wins as well. I don't know if that's some sort of school record, but I would think it'd be pretty close if it's not. But what is it about the conference? You guys kind of turned up a notch here in the conference game. Well,
I mean, it is a record. I guess only being in a conference for 2.5 years, you're going to set a lot of records right away. But, you know, we got off to the slow start last year, and a lot of it was new people trying to figure out some things, and then we clicked down the stretch, and we started believing in what we were doing. I think the reason that it's happening now is because, number one, we had them at home, and we played well at home. So our first 3 conference games were at home, so it was nice to get to that 3-0 and be pretty confident in what you were doing. But the conference is strong, but it's not Notre Dame and Louisville and Northwestern and Toledo and Butler strong. So now all of a sudden we're going against teams that are more our peers. And it's, you know, you're finding that our post players are finding life against the Summit League a little easier than life against the Big East. And our guards finding it that way. So I think that's really what's happening. Now we have a lot of tough games to go, but we're strong right now because of who we played early.
And you mentioned, you know, some of the players getting together, you know, playing together.
Right.
Maybe that was for some of the rocky start. You said the schedule, but is this team picking the right time to kind of come together right now?
I think so. I mean, we got a long way to go. You know, I'm frustrated. I think we could have had a better practice than we had today. You know, I told them we have bigger goals than 5-0, and we've got an opportunity right now with the next 2 games at home to really get a stranglehold on this conference early. But if you go 5-0 and then you fall asleep, it really doesn't mean anything. So we've got to continue to focus and get better and better every day and clean some things up and just take it one game at a time. You know, one of the things we've been talking about in the locker room, and the players hear me say all the time, treat every game like it's Notre Dame. You know, it doesn't matter whether it's Centenary or Notre Dame. You go out, you compete, you play hard, you bring that energy, then everything will take care of itself.
Yeah, let's talk about Saturday. UMKC comes in. They've only got 1 loss.
Right.
So you guys lose, you're tied. But if you win, I mean, it builds a little comfort zone there.
Well, you know, Bill and I were laughing that if somebody would have said a year ago that in the middle of January, IPFW would be playing UMKC for first place in the conference, you know, nobody would have believed it. But here we sit. They're playing really good basketball right now. It's a wonderful opportunity to be in a position to be 6 games in a conference season and be 2 up on everybody. You know, even more up on some because the Dakotas have to go play each other. One of those teams are going to have 3 losses already, and they were picked, you know, obviously towards the top. So it's a wonderful position to be in. I just want to make sure our kids understand it's just 1 game, and I don't want to put too much emphasis and too much pressure on them to have to go get it, but I also want them to understand the magnitude of a 2-game lead in an 18-game season is pretty significant.